Hi, I am Emily Tiamslin. I am with 10x Flow SEO, and we're going to go through an Asana checklist, particularly the editor role of creating SEO'd articles and SEO'd content. This is going to be a really simple checklist, and it's something that is downloadable to anyone. And we're just going to get right into it here. So the first thing you do is you go into Asana, and I'm going to click on editors here because we have our editors performing this role. I'm going to click on new project. Then I'm going to click on use a template. And then I'm sure I'm in the right place because I can see editor role. So I'm going to click again, use template. Now I'm going to name the template, the name of the article here that I am going to be performing it on. So I actually have to go into Slack to see what article that is. And this is kind of in the template, but that's why we're going to show this first so people know. So I go into Slack where I have my writers communicating with me. And see, I can see this is the writer here, so I can go look for her article here. Okay, it looks like Parkinson's dog. This should be interesting. Parkinson's dog. Okay. So, that's what I will name it. I'm just going to try to follow this Asana checklist the best I can. Okay. Now you gotta wait a minute because it takes a minute for the tasks to populate. So just try to be patient while all the tasks populate. Okay, now we have all the tasks have populated here, and now we just have a list of action items. And with every action item, if you see this 4, the 2, the 5, that just means that there's subtasks on that action item that if I click on this, the subtasks will populate. So we already copied the editor role template and renamed the article title. So I'm going to click accomplished. Respond positively to the writer by replying in the thread through the Slack. So that's just a communication thing in our team that we do. And I have already replied to her. And that is something to be aware of with Slack really quick, is to reply in a thread. You always hit reply into thread, or else I would, if I write here, I'll be replying to the whole team. Just something to always be aware of and to take note of with Slack. Okay, so I'll check that. Content calendar steps performed. Now I'm going to click on that, the 4 with the little subtask icon. Change the status of article to assigned to writer to first draft submitted. So I do not go into Slack. I go into the content calendar. I actually already changed to first draft submitted, but that's all you do is you click that little arrow there, and there you can change. It'll always say assigned to writer when it comes to the editor, so we're going to change it to first draft submitted. Okay, add your name if you're under the editor column. We're assuming that you are the editor. Okay, so add your name under the editor column. briefly check out number of words, images wanted in the article. Just to be thorough, I'm taking you one step at a time, but when you do this, you'll get pretty fast. So you'll come into the content calendar and you'll just switch first draft submitted. You'll put your name here, and then you'll just check really quick the word count and the image count really quick. So I'll just be like, okay, about 5 images, about that, just roughly like the target word count and image requirements. I'm just getting an idea for what are the requirements. Okay, so I checked that. Now I'm gonna double click the article to open it. So this would all potentially happen in one go, and then you could come into Asana and click down, just click, 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 click. Because that'll help you keep track and be like really clear that you did all the steps, and it just helps us be really efficient. Structure of article checked and general editing perform. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and open this. Word count assessed, put word count in content calendar. Okay, so one of the first things I'm having you guys do with this is do the word check. And the reason why we want to do that first is because a lot of the time as editor, you're going to be adding words to the article. And so we want to be sure that everything is really like honest, and once in a while, maybe if you add a word or two before you do the word count, that's fine. But generally, I want you guys to always check the word count before you really get into editing. So then I go to Tools, word count, 1599. Okay, so then I'm going to just come over here. I'm going to put it in. So you scroll to the right to where it says target word count, right next to paid. I'm going to put 1599. 1599. It says of 1800 because it's counting all the words above the article that are in here that help us with the scaffolding of the article and the structure and the requirements. Okay. So we did the word count. We put the word count in the content calendar, and I'm going to check that off. Appropriate images. Okay, so we're just going to check the way we put images into our articles is we just use links, and then we have text, alt text underneath every image. And so we want just to quickly check that they have images, and there's an alt text with the images. Okay, so this all looks really good. Didn't push the 5. Okay, so we just went and checked the sufficient number of images. Images are properly formatted. We checked that. Correct usage of headers and H2s. Okay, so I'm not really sure why, but with this particular writer, there's always, for some reason, see, it says heading 1. This is actually the correct heading. She actually has the correct format, and I think that would actually populate in when it's deployed and published onto the website. Because notice that it already has heading 1, but if I click apply heading 1, it does change and makes the words bigger. So for some reason, some people, I don't know why, it's like they have the formatting there, but it doesn't appear to be formatted correctly. See, she has heading 2. And I like to just go ahead and and make sure all of those are done correctly, or that they look correct. But I don't really know what the repercussions are if I weren't to do this, because they are, see, it says heading 2. And then the hotkey here for, you'll always have the hotkey with this. So I'm going to do Command Option 2 to make it easier for me. And I can just really quickly go through and make sure those are all the right headings. But they are the right headings. I don't know why with this particular writer they always come through like this, and since it comes out as that number, like when you tap on, so whenever you tap on anything, it'll tell you how the coding is, like, so it is being coded as a heading 2. So I'm guessing that it would when we publish it on a website, it probably would come out correctly. Okay. So that's the headers. Lists. We're going to check for lists, which is bullet point list. Advantages of acquiring a service dog for Parkinson's. I would consider that a list in how she went about putting these advantages underneath that heading. I'd consider that totally fine. If you want to, you can count them and put, like, if you want to, because a lot of the time people like to have numbers. So I could do that. I could say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I could write 8 advantages of acquiring a service dog for Parkinson's. I could do that, and I think if it was really advantageous to do this in this particular situation, I don't really think that that's super beneficial because of the concept. However, as the editor, you guys are free to, if you're like, oh, I want to make this super powerful and I'm going to add some numbers, that's fine. But I would still consider this a list, and I would consider the bullet points a list within the list. Okay, now internal links. She does have an internal link here, and it looks like it's going to the home page. So I could probably use this opportunity to teach her to reinforce her to try to do linking to alternate pages instead of the home page. We prefer most of our links to not go to the home page, but to go to different pages within the website, because that helps empower it helps with the SEO for the company if you're interlinking between the articles and the website more than because when they're reading the article, there's going to be sidebars where it's going to have Amy's Eden's like phone number and stuff on the sidebar. So it could be kind of redundant to have the homepage there, which I know I have shown videos of me linking to the homepage, which probably wasn't very helpful. So I'll just say this is great to link within Amy's Eden. Let's try in the future to link to other articles within Amy's Eden's website. And then, what's tricky is anytime I'm gonna tell someone to do something different, I should provide how to do that. And we're kind of waiting on Amy Zeden to have a search button. It's something they're working on right now, to have a search button. Hopefully when you watch this, they have a search button. But it is tricky to find other articles within their site without that search button. But it's possible. It's just a little bit trickier. So, okay. So those are, oh, I didn't look for external. That was an internal link. I'm going to look for external links here. Okay. It doesn't look like she has any external links. So that would be a good thing to work on with her. And these are things like you can just, like, if, especially with new writers, give them a little at a time. This isn't the newest writer, but I've just tried to kind of give her a little bit at a time. So, since this is kind of a general thing, I'm just going to try to like make a comment here. It'll highlight this even though I'm not talking about that. It's fine. So I'll just say, I like to try to be as nice as I possibly can. And it doesn't really allow me to do emojis with that, which is fine, because I can just be really positive with other comments in her article. So just because it's really important to have the ratio of positive comments high, like almost 4 times as heavy as negative criticism. That's kind of one thing I think for you guys, for you editors, when you're critiquing articles, to do 4 times as many positive comments to criticisms. Just because it's it helps people hear. We kind of take those equally, even though there's 4 times as many positives. We're so sensitive to negative criticism as humans, so. Okay, so after this video, I'm gonna actually make a video on how to do external links and internal links a little better, and make sure she gets that. Jaron Spotton, anytime you editors want a video to teach someone something, ask him to give you a video. Or you could ask me, but we can always supply you with like any teaching tool. Like, we want to be there to help you guys with any teaching tools you need. Okay, so I'm going to check that off. Basic standards, grammar, and spelling check. Oh, here, I need to open that up. Let me open that up. So I click on that. Okay, so article is congruent. And this is actually kind of an interesting article, how a Parkinson's dog can easily help my loved one with Parkinson's. And then just read through the article here. Numbered lists, grammar approved. Okay, so read through the whole thing, looking for all of that. Okay, when you're reading through the article, make positive comments anytime you possibly can. That is really, 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 really important to me, that we're giving as much positive reinforcement as we possibly can to our writers, okay? So anything you feel a connection with, let them know. Let them know that you like whatever you possibly can. Okay, so as I'm reading through this, there's like going to be, and when you read through articles, there'll be sentences that don't totally make sense. you may feel, and just go ahead and write it because this speeds our process up. You may feel anxious when you leave a loved one alone, but with the help of a service dog, you probably won't feel as anxious. So just kind of make little changes if you need to. Those care for, and then just keep reading through and making changes as you need to. Okay, so here's another sentence. Your loved ones will feel better and will be more at ease if they may pet their service dog. So your loved ones will feel better and more at ease when in the company and love of their service dog. We're just going to try to warm this up a little bit. It's a little bit, like this article is a little bit dry for sweetness you could have with a dog. So be aware that that you can kind of modify and help out our writers and warm things up if you need to. Okay, so after you read through the entire article and you have just, and I don't want you guys spending too much time being perfectionistic. Mostly I want you to, the first few times might take you a little bit longer. I don't know. But basically I want this to be really like, just if you do it a lot, you can kind of speed read through it, find any really obvious mistakes, anything that's really obviously wrong with it. I don't want you spending a ton of time making everything perfect, okay? Don't go for perfection, absolute perfection, please, because you'll get burned out. So now I'm going to just go through Grammarly really quick. We want high quality, but perfection is not the goal here. We're doing super high quality SEO'd articles, not perfect articles. Interesting, high quality, dynamic articles. Okay, so I'm going through the Grammarly now, and all the stuff above, this is the article outline material. We do not care about the spelling and the grammar in there. So I am just hitting this garbage button for everything that is in the up above the article. It is just the guidelines that we're giving the writers. Okay, so, and it is tempting to get on a roll with this, and then you'll get to the article and you'll accidentally hit like trash. And so as soon as you get to the article, just be aware, okay, I'm on my article. When your loved one experiences mobility problems, having a service dog will help you help them. Let me see if that changes it. Oops. I don't agree with that one. Okay. In accordance with, so with Grammarly, there's suggestions. Look at them, read them, and like sometimes you're not going to agree because it can be wrong. In accordance with, patient in accordance with. Okay, you must fulfill certain conditions to obtain a service dog. Accordance with, okay. I like in accordance with. I like it. It's clear. So I'm not gonna, so I didn't take Grammarly suggestions this time. That's totally fine. Okay. Back to Asana. Meets client voice, target audience. I'll do more to help with that. A little warmer. I want the beginning to be a little warmer. I feel like it's a little chilly. This article is just a little chilly for something that's really heartwarming, like a dog. At least in my opinion, dogs are really, I love dogs. So, and I have 2 dogs. I love dogs. Okay. Red thread feeling in beginning somewhere. Red thread is incorporated. Okay. So in the beginning and the end here, so you click on that, and then we're going to look in the beginning and the end of the article for a little warmth, which is our red thread. And I do want you guys to really know Eden's red thread, and we have that at the top here. If you ever want to read it, the target audience right here, their voice and their target audience are always given to our writers. And so our writers know it pretty well. Okay, when you're aging loved one, it's chronic, progressive. So this is fine. This beginning is really fine. She's just kind of getting us into like how Parkinson's can be a really depressing disease. So she's really just kind of going into that. I would like to have a little paragraph right here. And what I'm not gonna just write this for her, because this is where text tools is really handy. It's just good to be aware. Okay, when I'm using text tools, I have an opportunity to warm up right here, and I probably have an opportunity near the end to do another warm voice. Yeah, so in the very beginning and the very end, she's really focusing on Parkinson's, which is totally fine. But we have an opportunity to use the text tools when it comes time for that. So I'm not going to write a paragraph right now because we almost always need to incorporate those extra words from text tools. So it's really strategic to just kind of, I'm going to check that off because I know that's something I can use with text tools. Passes Copyscape. Okay, so I'm going into the article. Remember, when you're doing Copyscape, don't get the beginning, just get the article. Don't get the, well, get the beginning, but not the, all the stuff above the article. So I'm just going to highlight everything really quick. Okay, then I copy it. Open up Copyscape. And if you want, you can have all your apps open even before you start editing, if it feels like it's easier for you to just have all the apps open and ready to go. Okay, so this is a good example of when images come up. Sometimes with iStock images, these images come up. And sometimes one thing we could do is just work on, so it's, I think this is the same one on each of them. One thing you can do with this is just changing the text here. So now I gotta go find relaxed, serene adult woman drinking cup of coffee on the sofa. Sounds nice. Relaxed, serene woman. Okay, relaxed, serene woman. I'm just double checking that it's not in her text here. I'm just double checking that she didn't have the exact same text underneath her image. Her alt text. So I'm just making sure that the alt text is different. I don't see it anywhere here, so don't worry about it, because that means, oh, here it is. See, it's in the picture itself. So it's totally fine. Don't worry about that. As long as it's not here, because we do want the alt text to for sure be changed to something unique. All right, so it passes Copyscape, passes Headline Studio, and Beatrice, I think she usually does Headline Studio, but one thing we could work on with her is knowing how to use how to take a screenshot of her score. Okay, so I'm gonna open I could just close out of that because. Okay, so I'm opening Headline Studio. Okay, I don't see it here. It might be somewhere in here, but so I just copy and paste the title in, that easy, and then click Analyze. And I delete the title before because we're just reusing this. Okay, so the SEO score isn't super good. The headline score is 91. We're gonna go ahead and screenshot the headline score. It's 91. The SEO score is 54. It's kind of low. But we're not going to care about the SEO score so much, but you do need to pay attention to if the keyword is in the title. So that is the only thing when it comes to SEO with the title that really matters to us, is having the keyword in the title. And the closer to the front of the title, the better, although it's not the end of the world where it is in the title, but it's just better there. Okay, so I take a screenshot of the score. And I'm not sure if I don't know if she's using Headline Studio, but she probably is. I think there's a few times I've seen that she has used it and she just doesn't screenshot the score. So that's something for us to just tell her to please screenshot her Headline Studio score onto the article next time. If there's a lot of feedback for a writer, just give a little bit at a time though, because I don't want to overwhelm our writers. So if you could be kind of gentle and just like give them feedback a little at a time. So since I want her right now for this one to work on links, and I'm going to send her some videos on how to create internal links to articles and external links to other articles and to sources that she could easily source with all this information. For sure there's some really great articles out there that she could be referencing with a link. So since we're focusing on that one right now, I'm not going to teach her how to do the Headline Studio. But I am going to make a little video on how to do these Headline Studio and linking that you guys can use and have as like a bank of stuff that you can always be handing out to writers. And if you guys have your own video recording stuff, you can make your own. As long as we check it first to make for accuracy, you can make your own videos and teach if you want to. We would be thrilled if you want to help teach with us. just, let's see. Okay, so past this headline studio now. Oh, there's one right here that I need to check on. See, I was tempted to check that before looking at this task, that one. Okay, so I do want you guys to try your best to always check, because it'll just keep your quality of work really amazing. Even I really like this list, because even I forget half the time, like, certain things, just because it's like just a checklist of stuff to do. Okay, now we're in text tools, and this is our opportunity to add some of the warmth and some of the other stuff that we want in the article. Okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the article. And remember, with text tools, we really do not want the stuff at the top. We just want to start here with the title and go down to the bottom. Okay, now I'm going to look for Parkinson's dog. It's actually just right here, but I usually use Control F if I'm looking through a lot of material, trying to find something. So click Analysis, and then Compare. Okay, and then scroll down to Analyze My Text. Click Paste in there. And you usually don't even need to push the button, it just analyzes it for us. And it's going to figure out how many, it's going to analyze all the top articles ranking on Google for content and words in terms of meaning. And it basically is saying that we're missing some meaning here, because we're missing some of these words here, and there's quite a few that we're missing here, so I'm definitely going to copy. Ideally, we just want, like, honestly, we just want to have at the most 30 dots. At the most. That's the most. It's ideal if we get between 10 to 20 somewhere, and if you get below 10, great, but that's not important. Basically, we want between 10 all the way up to 30 dots, which means missing words here. Okay, so I copied those words. I'm gonna paste them in right here, just to keep track of them, and then I'm gonna just delete all the stuff we don't need, because privacy policy that's on every, it just comes with the website. Or okay, reserved comes with the website, so you'll always see some of the same stuff that just comes with a website, and all websites will have it. So you don't need to keep that there, because those will be supplanted when like rights reserved. That'll be on there when we publish the article, because it just comes with the website. Rights. So just delete all the stuff that comes with the website, basically. That doesn't have anything to do with Parkinson's dog. You can take out Facebook if you want. I mean, you can probably have Facebook in there. It's not the end of the world to have stuff like that. Content. I'm just going to take out content. Top. So I'm just finding the words that I actually think will help me create like a substantial paragraph about Parkinson's dog. Shop treatment. And most of your articles aren't going to be this tricky. This is a little bit of a trickier one. I'm hoping that most of you guys aren't doing something. Parkinson's dog is a little bit tricky, but kind of interesting too. So, okay, so I'm going to use chat now. Parkinson's dog using the following words. Okay, so that did not work. Which usually, like, if it doesn't work, you just need to reboot the page. You just need to refresh the page, or you need to just go out of chat and back in chat. Once in a while, if you guys have a free version, chat's gonna be busy sometimes. But you can try to get it to work for you, or you can just throw those words in without using chat. But I think there's ways of using AI for this, because I think it's really helpful to use AI for getting a whole bunch of words into a paragraph. I keep wanting to start with please, but we don't need to say please to a robot. That's really cute. I like how it started this off. It's already a little bit warmer to me than how the article is written. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy this and I'm gonna paste it in at the bottom, and then I'm gonna try to chop it up and put it in to the article strategically. Every time I do this, I end up changing a lot of the writing and such. Okay, so after it's coming from chat, there's always that gray in the background. I'm gonna try to get rid of that. If this doesn't work, then that worked. If it doesn't work, you can use our Google trick where you just copy, paste it in Google, and then copy it out of Google and paste it back in. And that usually works. If it doesn't work with the highlighter here. Okay, so when using chat, just a couple things, and I know I've said this a million times if you've seen any of my other videos, but it does lie. So it'll just make up stuff, especially when we give it this command. So be really willing to read through, and so just grab stuff and put it in where it fits. I think this whole, this whole part is really a great way to even start off our whole article here. So I'm just going to cut that, and I'm going to put it in the very beginning of the article. And I might change it up some more when I'm not on camera, but it's hard for this kind of work. You're going to have to get creative and kind of really focused to do this. And just know that when you're doing text tools, you're just going to focus for like 5 to 10 minutes, heavy focus for 5 to 10 minutes, and you're done. You got it. But you do need to focus to do this, because it's going to take some creativity to make sure that everything is congruent and fits where it needs to. And I might need to have like a segue sentence here or there. That's all. This is probably the hardest, most intellectual part of the whole thing, though. So just know that like it's probably the hardest part. But if you focus, just focus and get it over with. You got it. You got this. It's also kind of fun. It's kind of like a puzzle. It's kind of like a puzzle because, so off camera, I'm going to make sure this really fits in. And so, because right now we're going right into the dog idea. And since these are the beginning paragraphs, we're setting the stage for the article here. And we want this whole article to be congruent. So I just want to make sure that we're moving from one paragraph to another without being completely disjointed. So, and then another thing to be aware of when you're copying stuff from chat is the size and the font. So she has Arial 11. This is Roboto. It's always Roboto coming from chat. So I got to put it on Arial. Okay, so I'm going to do the rest of that and then I'll get right back with you. Okay, so chat had put here like something about donating to a cause. So chat won't know the idea of the article. So be prepared to change and modify. I put this in instead of donating to a cause. But if you're interested in learning more about Parkinson's dogs and how these dogs could benefit your life or the life of a loved one, please visit and it says the main website and navigate to the resources help for helpful information. So chat's just giving it's like you told me to say these words and I'm going to do it for you, but it doesn't actually know what it's talking about. But this is a great opportunity to go find a Parkinson's dog website. And since she didn't have external links, this is a great time to go find a website and create a link to that. And I'm going to do that a little bit later, but I just wanted to say how we always find opportunities when we're using text tools to help with the help the article be a little bit better. With internal or external links, you can always find an opportunity during if they don't have any, then you can have an opportunity there to do that. Okay, also with ChatGPT, there's going to be times where reading this, you can also email the team or skip straight to the donation page. I would just delete that. We're not trying to get donations for this cause, so. Okay. Okay, saying that we are done with chat. We are going to, if the number of missing words is above, so we did this part of text tools, and then the second part is pasting the new score to the article itself. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to again copy the article, and then I'm going to go into text tools again and see if we have a better score. So you just come into text tools, delete the entire article that is in there. Ensure that you make sure you delete the whole article in there. And then paste in the article, and then it's going to actually take a minute to reanalyze. And so just be patient as it reanalyzes the text. Okay, so our new score is substantially better, and it might be close to 30, and that's fine. We'll just go with it. It's probably 30. I'll count really quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. So we're just at 32. If you wanted, you could try to get a few more of these words in here to get it down to 30, and just find like a couple of them that seem easy. Like canine. Let's see, year. Or anyway, find a couple that seem easy and just throw them in there. But more than anything, I don't want you guys spending too much time. It's substantially improved. So go ahead and put a couple more if you want in there, or since it's substantially improved, just take a screenshot as is, because I don't want you guys feeling exhausted by this. I only want you guys to do the text tools really once. So this is a good example of it not getting below 30 on our first try. I don't want you guys working too hard to get a perfect score with text tools, or else you will not want to do this job. And that's for sure. You just won't want to do it, because you'll get exhausted. But it is pretty simple to throw those words in manually without chat. It's actually not that hard. So if you know if you've read through the article and you look at some of the words, you'll have generally you'll have a really good idea for where you can put the words in. And you don't have to put a score here. You can just put the graph in there when you put it in. Okay, now it says article status change to ready for client approval. So I'm going to go over here to the content calendar. Okay, so now I'm just going to go to where it says first draft submitted and put ready for client approval. Then ready. And then I just changed status of payment writer to ready, which you just saw me do right there. Ready. Okay. And now I'm going to add the client for approvals. So find approvals under file. Click make a request. And then we're always going to add in our client's email right here. And her email isn't, I have I have a couple other emails of hers, but I always want it to make sure it's the client's email at her, the profession I'm supporting right now. So the Amy's Eden Company is the one that we are supporting, so just ensure that we're sending it to the right email. Okay. And that's it. And you're done. You are done. And then actually, the last thing you're going to do is you're going to go into Slack and tell the writer that to please look at that. You're going to come in, you're going to tell the writer to please look at her article, and then she's good to ask for another article. And I'm not going to go in right now because I don't have the videos that I want to give her that are teaching how to do the linking. So I'm gonna respond to her about the article as soon as I have those videos for her, and I'm gonna have I'm gonna make sure I have a document for you for my editors with links to help teach writers, because you're just gonna need to once in a while just send them a link. This is how you do this. This is how you do that. And Jaren also has those videos, so you could use interchangeably. Jaren's got really great videos too, so you can use those interchangeably. But when you're performing this role, there will be a one more thing to do here, which is going to be respond to the writer in Slack and tell them that really great job on your article. Please review the feedback and go ahead and ask Jaren for another article. So I'm going to make sure that's in here. It's not in here right now, but it will be in here when you editors are performing this role. And that's it. Thanks, guys. So really quick, I'm just going to show you guys how within your Asana task list, there is this button. It says Overview. If you click on Overview, there's a link to the 10x General Guide. And that's going to be really important to reference because it has everything that we are wanting you to reference. It just has the entire job outlined really clearly. So pretty much all of your questions will be answerable from the guide. So here's the guide. So here's the 10x Editor Guide. It should be able to answer almost all your questions. So if you thoroughly go through this, just look through this really thoroughly, you'll be surprised at how many of your own questions, like all of your questions, that could be answered by watching all the links, reading and just watching the links. And I suggest if you want to watch the links at 2x speed, or put it on 2x speed for redundant stuff. At the very bottom of this guide, we have resources for teaching writers, and I'll continually be working on this. I have it open right here. I'm going to continually be working on this guide, adding videos, and I'm sure that there's some videos that I'm going to be able to use from Jaren also. But these are going to be resources, just basically all the resources that we, when you're editing our articles, you can just click on these resources, open it, or just grab the link, grab a link. And especially when we're teaching writers, you just throw it into, I'll just give you a really quick idea for what I'm talking about. So how to do internal linking, I can just go right here. I can grab the link and I can go into this article right here. I'm going to put, here are a couple of links. Okay, so I just I put internal linking explained and external linking. So we slowly just bring our writers up to our standards as editors, so that you're not spending, it really will cut down on how much time you're spending on these articles. And ultimately, I want you guys to be able to get these articles done really quick. And the more trained up the writers are, the editor job does get really fast with our writers that are extremely proficient. So that's the idea behind these resources, is to have, and it'll probably continue to grow as you guys can continually reach out to me and say, hey, I need this resource or that resource. I can make videos, or if you want to make your own videos, that's great too. So that is that for the 10x general guide, and it's right here in the editor role under overview. And so anytime you do your editor role, if you click overview, you can open up the general guide and use these together in tandem. So you can have the checklist, and then any questions you want to have answered, you can just be going through the guide as you go through Asana. So hopefully this is not too overwhelming, and hopefully this is really easy for you. I know this is a relatively easy job. It just seems like a lot at first, and I promise you, if you practice, it'll be super easy and it'll be totally worth it, because the faster you get, the more money you make with this job. So thanks for your guys' willingness to do this job, and we are so grateful for you. We love you, and that is that.